Okay, so in chapter 12 we've got two problems. Well, there's more than two problems, but there's two of them here I'm going to kind of work. And I mean, you're going to have them again. They'll have different numbers, of course, but hopefully it'll give you a good context to the problems here. So this is the first one. And it's just talking about setting up a partnership. You got two partners coming together, Moss and Barber. Okay, you see one of them, Barber's going to be easy. He's just putting in cash, but the other guy, or girl, whatever, Moss has cash coming in. It's got equipment coming in, but that equipment has some debt on it, which is kind of strange. And so we got to do the journal entries for their initial investments. So hopefully you guys had a good experience in Principles 1 and you remember all your debits and your credits. In this case here, we have in the first guy here, Moss, the first person, Moss, we have 4 accounts. Okay, let's go. I got my Excel here to the side. So we've got, for Moss, we're going to have cash coming in. We're going to have some, what do we got here? Equipment. It's notes payable, so I'm putting N/P here. And then we'll have his capital. So this is Moss capital. Okay. So this is what's coming in this transaction here. So we have cash is, I don't like the way they wrote that. You see how it's in parentheses? That means negative, right? So they got cash of negative 17. Well, it's not supposed to be negative. This is poorly done, unfortunately. This is positive as well. But this here, this loan is going to be a negative. It's a liability, right? So I'll put it in this negative. Okay. Oop, that's a 0 there. And so at this point, we can get the value of Moss's contribution. And his net investment is $75,000. So let's type this in as a journal entry. We're going to have to, in this case here, we're going to have 2 debits. We're going to have cash increasing by $17,500. We're going to have equipment increasing by $82,500. Okay. We also have to increase that notes payable, but that's going to be a credit, right? It's a liability, so it needs to be a credit. And then last but not least, we're going to have Moss's capital account. That'll be the 75. So that should be the journal entry there for investment partner Moss. And you did see in the system there was a withdrawal account, which I kind of like to see that. In this case, each partner is going to have a capital account and they're going to have a withdrawal account. And that's how they're all going to be done on the books. And then Barber's going to be very easy because there's no work to do here. So we're going to increase cash for $31,250. There we go. And then Barber's partnership, his capital account is going to go up by the same amount. And that's it for that one. So nice and easy. Hopefully it's a good refresher on journal entries to a degree. And you can check your work and everything looks good there. The computer's happy. All right, so we're going to go back and we're going to do the next one. Which is going to be like 3 parts, but most of them are pretty short. So in the first one here, I've actually had this on some files before. I've used this problem before. Anyway, we've got Raymer and Knox. Here's their initial investments, and they had a really good first year. And so we want to allocate that income. Well, if we're doing, if they did not officially agree on a plan, they have to share it equally. Okay, and so that's something that would be in that partnership agreement, right? In this case, so it's going to be just simply $80,000 apiece, which is just the income divided by 2. Each partner gets half, right? Of course. Now we'll move forward. Okay. So now it's going to be a proportional. Okay, what about proportionally? So I can do some calculations over here. Here's a Raymer. Here's Knox. Okay. So the initial investments was $60,000, $90,000. All right, which is a total of 150, right? So essentially what I'm going to do here, just so you can see it, I want to do this. Well, I'll just put the 150 here, which is the total. Okay, and then I'll do the division. So it's going to be the 60,000 divided by 150, and that'll be 40%. And then, of course, it's going to be 60% here. We'll go ahead and do the math, though. All right, so Raymer is going to get 40% of that income. That income is $160,000. So if I do that math, and then I can just copy it down, right? So let's do that real quick. So 64,000 for Raymer and 96,000 for Knox. Okay, here we go. So fraction allocate. I'm trying to read what it wants here. Oh, this is Raymer's share. We got that. Okay, so 60,000 divided by 150. His income is 64,000. And then Knox over here is going to be the 90 divided by 150. Down at the bottom for $96,000. Beautiful. All right. And there's that total being distributed there. So the next one's going to be the trickiest of the bunch. It's going to be, this does happen sometimes where, you know, you want to kind of guarantee money to partners. And you see, you call that like a salary allowance and an interest allowance. And again, the salary allowance is kind of what you think it is. It's to, you know, because they have certain duties, we're going to assign them a certain amount of what we call a salary. A little bit different though. It's not going to run through payroll. It's just going to be added to their capital account. And then there's that interest allowance, and it is what 10% of their initial capital investment. So they're going to add that in as well. That's going to be like a return on investment for the partners. And so we got our net income here. We'll see if we need Excel for this. We might not. So there's $160,000 of income. It says here that Raymer gets $50,000 and then $40,000 for Knox. Okay. 10% of their capital investment. Well, for Raymer, that's going to be 60,000 times 10%, which is 6,000. And then for Knox, we will have 10% of 90,000, which is $9,000. So of that income of $160,000, you see that 105 is already spoken for. And at this point, we're just going to split that between the two partners. And say, well, I'll use Excel as a calculator real quick. So I'm going to do, what's this, equals 105. Not doing the right, I'm doing it wrong. Okay. So each of them will get, oh, hold on, that's not right. Let's try it again. So we'll do 160, which is the amount that of total to distribute. And we'll subtract out the amount that is spoken for. Now we go, looking better now. So the amount that we're going to split between these two guys is going to be the 160 minus the 105. So $55,000. We'll divide that by 2. Oop. Let's see. I got my microphone. It's sitting in front of me, so it's kind of awkward. Looks like it should be 27.5. This will be that 55. Now, one thing about this, I don't know if I assigned you one, but even if there was a loss, like if it was like a negative 160, we would still go through this exact same process, even though it seems odd. But that's what we would do. And then what we would do is whenever we close the books and move on to either the next month or the next year, we would do a journal entry. I can do it over here real quick. Again, it's not assigned, but this is how it would look. We would do... and it's going to be kind of iffy because of the way it would be set up. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to credit each of their accounts by 85 for Raymer, 83.5 for Raymer, and then 76.500 for Knox. If you understand closing entries, it would probably be in an account called Income Summary. And that would be our debit for the 160. If you don't, then this is just going to confuse you, I guess, but it's okay. And then the credits would be to those partners. So we got what? Raymer Capital. And then Knox Capital. Okay, those are going to be credits. 83,500 and 76,500. Next time I do this, though, that's going to be it. But next time I do this, I'm going to have to put the screen on accounting because I can't stand there's no commas on this. But that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this. This is going to be, let me make sure it's right. Okay. Looks good. And I'll be doing these from time to time, probably every week, actually, just to make sure you understand. I want to, yeah, one thing is getting the answer right. One thing is actually understanding what it's talking about. And hopefully this will be very helpful. So I'm going to stop now, and we'll get back to you later.